Good morning, friends. I'm Kevin Bonifield, and I work as a licensed professional counselor here in the Tulsa area. And Faith United Methodist invited me to share some ideas on better ways to cope with the pandemic we're experiencing and all the chronic stress that seems to be coming from that. We know that chronic stress over time can contribute to feelings of depression, anxiety, insomnia, even difficulty with concentration and difficulty with our relationships. And so I just wanted to take a moment, maybe share a few thoughts about what's contributing to the stress, and then I'm going to include some ideas for coping with that stress. So I just want you to know that this is a shared experience. I think many of us are experiencing both a sense of grief and loss over the certainty of the way things used to be and our ability to engage in stuff that we know worked for us, and some anxiety about the future over things that are just difficult to plan for and a lot of uncertainty. That just seems to increase that sense of anxiety over tomorrow. And so what makes that worse? Really there's three things. The first thing is the need to be more physically distant. And, we're wired from birth with a need to be in relationship with other people. The sense of attachment that an infant has is really important. And as we grow older, we don't really completely lose that. It just changes in the nature of it. And so when we don't have that, when it's hard to find, then it feels stressful sometimes. And we also don't have another person that's helping us to, what we would say, co-regulate, to help reduce the stress in our own nervous system. The second thing is this fight or flight response that we're wired with, where when we perceive things that are threatening, our nervous system responds like it's a mortal threat, not just an annoyance. And that, of course, causes the release of stress hormones, starts shutting off things that we don't need in the moment, like parts of our digestion, our ability to think is changed. Part of our prefrontal cortex is sort of going offline. That's why when you're in a heated argument, it's hard to find the right words sometimes. So that stress response is coming on even though we're not in immediate mortal danger, and that just doesn't seem to be real helpful sometimes. The third thing that seems to be making it worse is this sense of uncertainty that we have. We just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow sometimes. And we like certainty. We crave that as human beings. And so when we don't know, it's hard to plan and prepare for it, and that just makes it worse. So what can we do about it? Well, here's a few ideas that I want to share that may help you. I know there's a lot of other ideas as well. This is going to be a short video, so I'm not going to include everything that I know about, but I want to include some major things that are easy to do, or at least I think they're easy. So the first thing is scheduling your time. Did you know that if you make a 15-minute increment schedule on a daily basis, it will allow you to feel like you do have some control back. You do have the ability to influence your life again, and you know how to plan for that. That is something you do have control over. You can also include time for self-care in that, and that's really important right now. You can make time to connect with other people, and we have to be really creative about how we do that. We have this kind of a feeling like, okay, we've maybe pulled back from social connection, and it's hard to push forward through that discomfort, especially with all the weird ways that we have to do it now. And at the same time, it really is important. And so making time to meet with people or a good friend, using FaceTime, maybe using Zoom, some other video mechanism, it gives you the additional bandwidth of being able to see their facial expressions, hear their voice intonation. It's a little bit deeper than a phone call, and that extra feeling of connection can be deepened even more when that person is willing to empathize with you, willing to help you feel heard, and is someone that you trust enough you can share your feelings of emotional struggle with them. That can really help a lot. When it comes to meeting in person, we can be really creative. I know there's that hiking with Heather activity where people can meet outside, socially distanced, and with a lot less risk. We can ride bikes socially distant. We can even use things like a clear face mask that help us to see the facial expression of the person that we're with. That can be really beneficial as well. So being creative with that, but finding ways to reach out and connect with other people is still very important to us as human beings. Finding ways to nourish ourselves. Speaking of self-care, those things that help to restore us, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually, are ways that help us find renewal. And that's important. And it's important to find that natural rhythm that we need for it. That's really a reflection of our Sabbath, where we have a period of activity followed by a period of renewal and restoration. So, you may be doing that right now on a weekly basis. See if you can do it on a daily basis or even an hourly basis sometimes. Maybe getting up from your computer, because the extra screen time is a little bit hard on our minds and bodies, right? So getting up, moving a little bit, every hour at least, that can be important too. Finding ways to exercise will also help with that, that extra screen time, that extra sitting time that we may be doing these days. And so whether it's walking, running, riding a bike, whatever, find some exercise that works for you. It can be really incredibly helpful at managing stress. And if you're able to do some kind of a mind-body exercise like yoga or Tai Chi, you will also benefit from gaining additional tools that you can use to manage stress at home. The unexpected thing that you might not imagine is singing and expressive arts. If you're able to sing, maybe it's on a Zoom session, maybe it's just singing by yourself to some great music, that actually helps you to also kind of soothe your nervous system, feel connected in different ways. Sometimes you can even walk around the neighborhood. Kim and I were going on a walk. We saw somebody on their front porch playing the ukulele, and we stopped and listened for a while from almost out by the street, and it was just a beautiful experience. So there's all kinds of ways that we can connect, and I know it's hard. I have a friend that I used to meet for breakfast every other week, and we're just having a hard time doing that right now. So I totally get how difficult this time period is for all of us. Finding ways and things to be grateful for every day can help us to take our mind off of some of the worries that we don't have control over. It also helps us in our prayer life. Of course, finding ways to enter into Christ-centered service to help others, people that have some needs that we might be able to meet even though we're socially distanced, can really be beneficial as well. It helps us to live in and embody that love and compassion that we know from our connection with God and other people with others that really need it. And also when we're experiencing that, we're usually not feeling as much of the worry and fear, right? I think if you have done that before, if you've served in missions or if you've served other people, that you know the joy of doing that. So I would encourage you to find ways to continue with that. I know that you may be carrying a lot right now, and I just want to reassure you that whatever it is, you don't need to carry it alone. And just know that the wonderful pastoral staff and congregational care ministry here at Faith would love to hear from you if you need to reach out or would like to reach out. They can also provide referrals to professional care if that's something that would be beneficial for you. So thank you for making time to listen to this video. We didn't talk a lot about techniques as far as like breathing exercises and stuff like that, but I hope these ideas gave you some tips on ways that you might start to do that. And we may make another video in the future that does have some more physical techniques and things like that. So until we meet again, please keep and hold on to God's love close in your heart, and may you be at peace. Thank you.